All right, you know what? It's lucky because I can't. There was a point I wanted to make, but you know what? If it doesn't come back to me, it doesn't come back to me. So let's go back here. So what happens when you turn 50 years old? Well, I'll be 51, Lord willing, in September. Okay, so we're going to go back to this word mythos, right? We just read 2 Peter's. Let's see here. Yep. 1 Timothy's, right? Chapter 1 and verse 4. Neither give heed to fables, all right? Exactly. And again, this hell doctrine is a fable. Hades, you got Christians, teaching that our Lord Yahushua went down into a fiery underworld in Hades, okay? Neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister to questions rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. And that's why we do these lessons, all right? This is godly edifying. We're called to edify the lambs of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua to prepare you, all right? So you'll be grounded during the time of Jacob's trouble, and so you won't be swayed, all right, by every wind of false doctrine out here. And there's just so much deception, and so much and so many lies, being taught right now in Israel. You got to be real careful. That's why it says, that you're not supposed to give heed to these things. Okay, talking about these myths, these fables, these fallacies and these fantasies. All right, 1 Timothy's 4 and verse 7, right? But refuse profane and old wives' fables. All right, and what does the word profane mean? The elder apostle Bar is always going into this. Word profane goes back to the Latin profanum, which means outside the temple, and this teaching is outside the temple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, yeah, it's outside the temple of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. This is wicked, man. This Christianity, this witchcraft. All right. But again, we've been called to tear down these strongholds through the powered spirit of Yahweh Shai, and that's what we're doing. Okay. But refuse profane and old wives' fables and exercise thyself rather unto godliness. Yep. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 4, right? And they shall turn away their ears from the truth. And a lot of men in Israel have done that. They've turned their ears away from the truth. Okay, they once were in the truth. Okay, but now they're preaching that we in a new covenant, or that the nations can make it. All right, all kinds of weird shit. They've departed from the name of the Lord, and they're pushing, God and Jesus Christ on their congregations. Madness, man. They've turned their ears away from the truth. All right, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. Yep, myths. Okay. Titus chapter 1 and verse 14, not giving heed to Jewish fables. See, a wicked Jake, again, when Paul was on the scene, all right, the Apostle Paul, when the apostles were on the scene, all right, there were all these weird doctrines floating around even back then. Okay, there's no new thing under the sun. Wicked Jake was pushing this shit. All right, this Greco-Roman nonsense. All right, not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. Right. So, where's my Hades. Okay, I had it pulled up in the Greek. All right. Confusion, man. The Lord Yahweh Shai is not the author of confusion, but Christianity is nothing but a big, stank ass ball of confusion. All right. So Hades. Okay. Greek word 86. Name of Hades or Pluto, the god of the lower regions. Orcus, the netherworld, the realm of the dead. Latter use of this word, the grave, death, and hell. And that's just it, man. Yahweh was put into the grave. All right. Hell, Sha'awal, a sepulcher. Okay. He didn't go down into Dante's Inferno and burn. with the dead, lost souls. No, and he didn't preach to anybody when he was down. I mean, it's just that they teach that shit too, man. It's ridiculous. All right. Now, when you slack you, when you let's see, when you type in Hades, right? Well, let me see. I had a. Here we go. All right, Hades, right? All right. It says Hades, all right, god of the underworld in Greek mythology. All right. You can read about this. It says Hades in the ancient Greek religion and mythology is the god of the dead and the king of the underworld, with which his name became synonymous. Hades was the eldest son of Kronos and Rhea, although this also made him the last son to be regurgitated by his father. He and his brothers Zeus and Poseidon defeated their father's generation of gods, the Titans, and claimed joint rulership over the cosmos. Hades received the underworld, Zeus the sky, and Poseidon the sea, with the solid earth available to all three concurrently. And see, Jake was into this, man. Jake's always been into bugged out shit. You know, Jake was into this Greek mythology. He was, worshiping Zeus, Poseidon, but there is a God who made the heaven and the earth, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Actually, Yahweh gave the blueprint to his only begotten son and the angels, right? To his only begotten son, Yahweh and the angels, and Yahweh and the angels create everything you see, man. But Jake was worshiping Zeus and Poseidon, okay, in Hades, all right, and he mingled it, all right, he mingled that nonsense with the scriptures, man, okay? And then the Roman Catholic Church, again, has been pushing it, all right, since Constantine, 321. As Constantine was an Israelite, he was a Jake, man. Okay, now, the Roman Catholic Church is clearly in the hands of Esau, but, Jake pushed this shit too. All right, being repetitive. Let's keep going. It says, in artistic depictions, Hades is typically portrayed holding a bident and wearing his helm with Cerberus, the three-headed guard dog of the underworld, standing at his side. Roman era mythographers eventually equated the Etruscan god Ada and the Roman gods Pater and Orcus with Hades, and merged all these figures into Pluto. All right, a Latinization of Pluton itself, a euphemistic title often given to Hades. But then when you type in Hades into your search engine, right? I just typed in Hades, place of the dead, and you type up images. This is what you get, man. I mean, look at this shit. Christians really believe that this place exists, and that Yahweh, or who they call Jesus in their gross ignorance, went here. A lot of Christians believe this, man. And straight up madness. Straight up madness, man. This does not exist. All right, once again, when the scriptures say his body, hold on. Let's see if I have it pulled up or I need to go get it. All right, when the scriptures says Yahweh when it says his soul was not left in hell, it's talking about the grave, man. That's it. That's it. Hell, the grave, the pit, okay, the place of the dead. All right, that's it. That's what hell is. And hell can also be a messed up condition. All right, brothers are catching hell right now, for example. Brothers are dealing with all kinds of hell. All right, so it can be a condition that plays out on the earth. That's it. But let's read this real quick. And this is the Apostle Peter. King David come back, because reincarnation is taught in the scriptures. That's another lesson for another time. But let's read this. All right, once again, this is the book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 29. Men and brethren, all right, because Peter was speaking to his brethren, his kinsmen according to the flesh. These were Jews, all right, primarily men in the southern kingdom, all right, who was scattered, who was coming back to Jerusalem to observe the feast, all right. He's not addressing everybody, vocab alone, because vocab alone and Christians really are universalists. And this is not a universal book, the Bible. All right. Men and brethren, let me freely speak unto you of the patriarch David, that he is both dead and buried, and his sepulchre is with us unto this day. Right? Therefore, being a prophet, and knowing that Yahweh had sworn an oath to him, that of the fruit of his loins, according to the flesh, he would raise up Hamashiach to sit on his throne. All right, verse 31. He seeing this before spake of the resurrection of Hamashiach, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption. Right, because Yahweh spent, 3 days and 3 nights, all right, in hell, in the earth, in a sepulcher, not in Hades, in a fiery underworld, okay? And the reason he couldn't have stayed there longer than 3 days and 3 nights is because at that point, your body would start to become gamey, all right? You start decomposing and you start to stink, etc. So he was just put in the grave. Okay, the grave. Hold on, and this is actually, written in the Psalms. Psalms, I believe this is 16th chapter, and so Peter's just repeating, Psalm 16 here. Okay, he's hearkening back to the Psalms. Let's see, verse 31 again. He's saying this before spake of the resurrection of Mashiach, that his soul was not left in hell, neither his flesh did see corruption. This Yahweh hath Yahweh raised up, whereof we are all witnesses. So if we go to the blue letter, that's not it. And we'll just type in Acts 2. All right. Remember, these Christians are saying he went to Hades. And again, we just looked at it. In this particular scripture, it is Hades, which we just looked at that word, but check it out. We're going to look at it again, right? Latter use of this word, the grave, death, hell. That's it, man. That's it. That's all it is. Nobody burns underground forever. All right, but you got Jake out here. You got men among the IUIC, the leadership, teaching that Jake is going to burn underground forever. That's crazy as hell right there, man. When the scripture clearly says all Israel will be saved, Romans the 11th chapter, eventually all Israel is going to come, come back and have the law, statutes, and commandments written in their inward parts. All right, 2/3 have to feel death by pain, but they're eventually going to be saved, man, and going to be good. All right, after that judgment, over here in the lake of fire, which the lake of fire is not underground. All right, the lake of fire is America. Anyway, Lord willing, you was edified through the Spirit. And with that, I want to say shalom. It's on to the next video.